Right now, today, March 30th, 2026, the most powerful warship ever built by human hands is sitting in a Croatian port. Not hunting submarines, not launching fighter jets, not projecting American power over the skies of Iran. It's docked in Split, Croatia. And the question every military analyst, every Pentagon watcher, and every adversary from Tehran to Beijing is asking right now is, why? Because this isn't just any ship. The USS Gerald R. America's newest and the world's largest carrier, was operating in the Red Sea in support of Operation Epic Fury when a non-combat fire broke out in its main laundry room on March 12th, injuring 3 sailors. That sounds minor, a laundry fire. You'd be forgiven for brushing it off. But here's the thing. When your most advanced, most expensive, most strategically critical warship pulls out of an active theater of war and sails to Europe for repairs while America and Israel are in the middle of an air campaign against Iran, people notice, enemies notice, and right now, the world is watching every move the USS Gerald R. makes. So let's break down exactly what happened, where this ship has been, what it means that it's sitting in Croatia, and, most critically, what comes next. To understand why this moment matters so much, you have to understand the sheer scale of what this ship has been doing. The Ford deployed in June 2025 from Norfolk, Virginia, and had its deployment extended in early February before the US and Israel launched their ongoing offensive against Iran on February 28th. That's not a short cruise. As of this past Saturday, the Ford had been deployed for 277 days. Should it remain deployed through mid-April, it will break the post-Vietnam War 294-day record for carrier deployments that USS Abraham Lincoln set back in 2020. Let that sink in. This crew has been out there for almost 10 months. They've operated in the Arctic, the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, and the Red Sea. The carrier had been operating in U.S. Southern Command and supported the American raid in Venezuela that captured former President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. And then, immediately after that, it was pushed into one of the most volatile theaters on Earth. The United States and Israel launched a massive air campaign against Iran in late February following a major U.S. military buildup in the Middle East that included the Ford and another aircraft carrier, the USS Abraham Lincoln. So this ship was at the very tip of the spear. And then on March 12th, a fire breaks out. Now the Navy is being careful with their language here. The Navy said that during the visit to Suda Bay in Greece, service maintenance personnel, including structural engineers, naval architects, and other experts, conducted a repair assessment, and that military and federal civilian law enforcement were continuing their investigations into the March 12th fire that originated in the carrier's laundry facility. Structural engineers, naval architects. That's not just patching up some scorched sheets. That's a serious damage evaluation, and it gets more complicated. The port call in Croatia came after Ford sailors worked at Suda Bay to help rehabilitate 7 berthing compartments. 7 entire crew quarters had to be restored. So yes, a laundry fire did real, meaningful damage to the interior of the world's most advanced warship. Now here's where it gets genuinely important from a strategic standpoint. Because while the Ford is sitting in Split, Croatia, enjoying what its commanding officer called well-deserved liberty, the Middle East is not pausing. Iran is not pausing. And a carrier strike group is not just a symbol, it's a floating airbase, a deterrence machine, and a tactical instrument all in one. So what happens when it's gone? The U.S. military is clearly trying to manage this transition. While some elements of the George H.W. Bush Carrier Strike Group, including the destroyers USS Ross and USS Mason, have started operations for an upcoming deployment, the carrier USS George H.W. Bush appeared to still be in port in Norfolk, Virginia. The Bush Group will presumably relieve the Ford, but presumably and will relieve are not the same as is already there. There is a gap, and gaps are exactly what adversaries look for. That said, the U.S. is not leaving the theater uncovered. The Tripoli Amphibious Ready Group, which includes USS Tripoli, USS New Orleans, and elements of the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, composed of about 3,500 sailors and Marines, arrived in the U.S. Central Command Area of Responsibility on March 27th. So America is shifting assets, repositioning, plugging holes. But make no mistake, an amphibious assault ship is not a nuclear-powered supercarrier with 4,500 personnel and an air wing capable of projecting power hundreds of miles inland. The Ford measures about 337 meters in length, displaces more than 100,000 tons when fully loaded, is powered by 2 nuclear reactors giving it effectively unlimited range, and features the Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System, EMALS. which allows smoother launches, reduces stress on aircraft, and is designed to support a higher sortie rate. There is no direct substitute for that. Not today, not in this theater. The power vacuum, even if temporary, is real, and every intelligence agency in the world, from Tehran to Moscow to Beijing, has already clocked it. So let's bring it all together. Because this story is far from over. The USS Gerald R Ford is in Croatia. It has been at sea for nearly 280 days. It suffered a fire serious enough to warrant structural engineers and a multi-stop repair tour across the Mediterranean. 7 crew berthing compartments had to be restored, and it is now sitting docked while an active US-Israeli air campaign continues against Iran, a country that has every incentive to probe for weakness the moment America's biggest asset blinks. If the Ford stays deployed through early May, it will rival the 300-day-plus deployments that carriers conducted during the Vietnam War in the Gulf of Tonkin. This crew is being pushed to historic limits, and here's the question nobody is fully answering right now. Is the Ford coming back to the fight? The Navy says this is a scheduled port visit, a maintenance stop, a chance for the crew to recharge, but the timing. Pulling out of the Red Sea theater right as Iran tensions hit a new peak, right as the Bush carrier group is still warming up back in Norfolk, raises real questions about American force posture in one of the most dangerous moments of the 21st century. The George H.W. Bush needs to get there. The Ford needs to either return to operational status or finally head home. And the window between those two realities is exactly the kind of moment that changes wars. Watch this space, because in the next 30 days, the movement of this one ship will tell you everything you need to know about where this conflict is going. If you want to stay ahead of every development, hit subscribe right now, because we are tracking every carrier movement, every strike update, and every strategic shift in real time. The story is moving fast. Don't get left behind.